morning, Tom.
Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Doing well.
Nice. Okay.
About
Jason's back,
6.5 out
y'all.
of 10.
5 out of 10?
6.5,
Okay. Gotcha.
trending upwards.
Good morning, MP. Trending upwards. Awesome. Nice.
How are
Nice.
you today? How's it going? How's the weekend?
The weekend was great. Um, yeah, really good weekend. Got some good sleep last night. Maybe some mid sleep the rest of the weekend, but altogether feeling good. Um, hit my 30 days straight milestone of working out slash exercising every day.
It's
Um,
38, you said?
31 was yesterday, so
31.
32 will be today. Just was
Nice.
planning on going till the end of the year. But in the past I've just kind of just kept going. I think I said the other day it's not about it's not about building muscle or strength or anything like that. It's more along the lines of just like building a routine and consistency and just keeping that going. My wife and
Mhm.
I were talking about it. Like she's in these step challenges where, like people pool together money and there's like an app and all this other stuff. And she's been doing it for like over a year now. And um it's not about like same thing with her. It's not about one thing or another, just the consistency and like having something like pulling her or driving her to do the work. And I think for me, that's the streak. That's the day 31. That's the posting, like that, like the accountability of it all, like the little VFit group that I'm in. Um, yeah, that's what helps me.
Here's a question for you with those kind of things. I always struggled with the habit side. I always enjoyed the idea of, you know, remaining fit or strong or whatever it is you're training for. Uh, I think we've talked before. I'm sure we've talked before about like in the past trying to maintain like gym habits or whatever you assign your habit to. I always had a hard time with that. Are you somebody, Dom, that tells somebody what you're planning to do first for the accountability, or do you save it as a little gift to yourself to wait until the end and be like, hey, this is what I did for this amount of days?
Yeah, no, it's more along the lines of the second, like, the second one. Just kind of start doing it and start putting it out there. And then, as people ask or are interested or whatever, I might tell them the goal. If there is ever a goal, like I said, it's really not it's not goal based. It's more about just doing something, anything, really.
Doing something regular, making a habit of it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
ideally I'd like to lose some weight, some belly fat, like all that other stuff, but it's more about building the habits. And I know there's value in just moving my body. So that's a goal in and of itself. Um just doing it, just doing
Yeah.
something.
Well, Dom, that's a great little segue into today's theme of the next time,
Mhm.
and the time
Yep.
after that, and the time after that, and eventually it's going to be the last time. Um, whether it's your kids asking to play again, or tuck them in again, or scratch their back again, or bring them cold
Yeah.
water again, even though their water bottle is halfway full and they didn't drink last night's water. There's always going to be a last time. And one of those things that I've thought about over the past, definitely, especially around this year, because this is the time of year when resolutions start coming to mind. And you
Mhm.
might be saying to yourself, I've done it before, is, well, it just didn't work out this time, but tomorrow I'll change it. And for me, that's always been with like working out or going to bed at a responsible time or waking up and like having my really good morning. and I think I'm going to assume that you've had those same
Oh
foibles
yeah. Yep.
over the time. This past week since Thanksgiving break, I've kind of been on and off. I've been irregular in both sleep as well as like my mornings. And it's like every day in my head, it's like I know what the perfect morning is. I know what I feel like when I have the great like the good mornings. And then something happens at night. I'm not really just, I'm not just wasting time. What's up, Ryan?
What's up? What's
Um,
up?
it's just I'll find something else to do that I plan on doing for 25 minutes. That it ends up going like 2 sessions of 25 minutes, and then I miss a few hours of sleep, and it just kind of rolls like that. And I get into the habit of, okay, well, tomorrow we'll just adjust it. And I read something, can't remember where, can't remember the source, wasn't my idea, but when I get into this frame, this cycle of promising myself that I'm going to fix it, the quote was like, what makes you think that you will make the changes to make this change happen if you're not changing the behavior? Are you just going to muscle? You're just going to muscle through like the bad decisions that you make. So that kind of changed my attitude about it. It's like, why do I trust myself to make the changes that I would keep not making? Anyway,
Speaking of muscles and bad decisions, Ryan, how was your weekend?
Oh, so many bad
Ryan,
decisions.
recap. 9-year-old Sloan's birthday party recap.
Yep.
I just read your text. I've already written a movie script about it. Let's hear it
I
from
hope
you.
so. It was great. It was a movie, as people say sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, wait, that's a movie? What are you talking about? Hey, habit formation. I love learning about habit formation. One thing in particular, one of the best researchers that you can find right now, his name is BJ Fogg. BJ Fogg is like the research behind like what you would read in, say, Atomic Habits. But BJ Fogg is he's a great researcher around all of this. But one thing in particular that you'll learn from BJ Fogg and about habit formation in general is that repetition does not build habits. And so when you say like white knuckling, Jason, if someone is doing something where they're white knuckling their way through a habit or something that they want to break, something new that they want to do, it doesn't really set anything for future recurrence. What does is any emotion attached to the habit that you want to form. So if you are thinking about how you want to go to bed earlier, you have to now be able to actually attach an emotion or a celebration or something to the habit that you've done that you want to keep building, so that when you think back to it and your brain does, that you're actually now going to form those new connections in your brain, and you will now be able to kind of build that habit a little bit easier. But yeah, a lot of people kind of think it's like, if I just force myself to keep doing it, but it's like, and BJ Fogg is funny like this. He's like, you just gotta be stupid. It sounds so dumb. But when you do something that you love to do, when you do something that you want to build a habit around, you need to now pretend like, and he always says like, your favorite sports team. He's kind of a nerd. He's like, you have to pretend like your favorite sports team has scored and you're excited. So you like, if you go to bed on time or you wake up the next day and you realize you did, you go, yes, I did. Yes, I did that. Like you gotta like, you need these like ridiculous emotions around it. And then that's really what's going to start to form these new neural connections where your brain is going to think like, I want to do that. And it now is like making it more of innate, is that the word I want to use? Intrinsic.
It's what the kids these days call habit stacking. Yeah.
No, that's not, habit stacking is something different, but I like where you're going with it. Habit stacking is doing something around stuff you already do. So so it's like if you have coffee every morning, but you want to read a book, well, you read your book before your coffee. So you stack those habits there.
Yeah. Coffee after like a months long Celsius habit is not refreshing. at all. It's
You're
hot.
so-
It's bitter. I don't know why I did this to myself.
I had a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and I was sitting there like, I hate this. This is the worst thing in the world. But I was like, I'm gonna keep drinking you because you're caffeine right now.
I just need you in my brain.
Yeah,
there's
you gotta treat yourself. You gotta treat your brain like a little stupid baby sometimes, and you gotta put a reward at the end of that. I've referenced the Tim Ferriss, Jerry Seinfeld app interview a few times before. That's a great interview on that. What you just said, Ryan. You've got to give yourself a reward. You got to celebrate the little things.
Yeah.
And then the next day, treat yourself like a dog and just be a dick to yourself.
That's right. How was your weekend though, guys?
Mine was good. I went to bed on Friday. I read my old journal that I said I never really did before. Me and Dom, I think we talked about this before. Do you ever go back and read your journal? I went back and read it, and I found the page like it was like the very first day that I jumped on with Blaze, and the page was like prior to this point, my journal was a mishmash of random teaching notes and dates and shopping lists. And the first day was like, today I'm getting onto an interview with a comedian named Blaze. I think he was a comedian, I think.
It depends. It depends who you ask and what certifications they hold.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I read through that. It was, there was a huge change between like the beginning and end of like what I was writing down. So that was kind of fun to read through. There was a lot that I forgot. There was a lot of days that I read through. I remember when like we first started doing this, we were doing a lot of like soccer days up the field, just kicking around. I was really focused on like daddy-daughter dates. And it was nice reading through that because some of those times I forgot. But I would have like, little flashes of the memory here because some of them, I would assume that I'd remember everything, but I don't. Like some of the things I wrote down is like, I don't remember any of this. So I'm really glad that I did that. I'm really glad that I started that habit. Mostly a habit. Don't do it every day. But, I hope to do that more. So thank you guys. A little bit of gratitude for you guys for helping me kind of start that. We had a costume party, or no, we didn't have a costume party. We had a staff party that me and Kristen dressed up for as Buddy the Elf and Jovi. We ended up having to leave early because we now have a small group of boys in the neighborhood that have noticed Kira grew up. If you catch my drift. So they are now ringing and running our door. So we got Kira called us at the party. We were in the middle of like a white elephant gift exchange. We left. We ghosted so hard. I don't think we could have been more Irish with the way that we left.
How's that possible in a neon costume?
But
Where'd that piece of broccoli go?
I dropped Kristen off. I started driving around the neighborhood. And like, I was ready to.
Hold on, but everyone has to picture this. I don't think anyone's seen this. Well, I don't think anyone's seen this picture, but Jason was dressed as Buddy the Elf, so I can only assume he's like wearing his costume.
No, I was in full
In
costume,
anger.
driving around the neighborhood, ready to get out of the car and tackle some young teenage boys in an elf costume. Because who would believe that story if they told on me? Nobody. Nobody would believe that story.
There's
Especially
so many
on like a
ring cams, though.
non-holiday. What?
There's so many ring cams. I feel like there's no way that you can ever get away from it being documented somewhere.
Yeah.
So that was that Sunday. I woke up in a daze from a couch sleep, like super, super cloudy. And it took me like a good 45 minutes It was like a fever dream wake up, snacked on everything that was on the counter from the night before, felt terrible till like noon, and then like forced myself to the gym for like a half a leg day. And that kind of helped. But then rest of the day was pretty good. That was my weekend.
That's nice. My brain.
That was
sometimes I
Great
hate
Wolf
my
Lodge.
brain.
Yeah, Ryan,
was
give us this little rundown of yours that you sent us.
Why doesn't this have a plant here? Like, what was I thinking?
And also an elbow update.
Elbow update. Let's take a look. I haven't looked at it in 2 days. Elbow. Oh wow, look, it's pretty bad.
It's not swollen anymore, right? Or it's gone down.
No, it's gone down. Oh wow, look. Yep, there it goes.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
definitely some internal stuff going on there. That's a big elbow.
It just shows me that my body's working.
If only we had a host here that was a nurse.
Right. This is a bandage I put on here.
Oh,
This makes it look gross, but this is like the medicine or whatever is kind of coming out. So
That's
yeah,
what
I fell
happens
off
when
my
you
bike.
actually complete tackling teenagers.
Ugh, this is looking pretty bad actually. It was so I didn't so I don't get injured that often. So like I injured myself, and then like it wasn't like a guy thing where it's like I'm not hurt. It was more like I don't know what to do right now. So, and I was like, I think if I do anything involving like emergency care or whatever it's gonna, I was like, I don't know. There's money involved. There's time. I'm busy. I gotta go. So but so I know how it happened. There's some stupidity involved, but some of it like whatever. I know where I fell, very vulnerable to having been able to die at that moment. But luckily, it wasn't a busy intersection that I fell in the middle of. But I'm sure that there's some guy being like, I was just sitting in the car and this guy came flying in on a bike and he hit like, I know what I hit. I hit it and just like threw me off the bike. But there's a guy somewhere be like, dude, I saw this guy fly off his bike. There's a good story sitting somewhere. But yeah, my elbow.
He just kept going.
I did. The guy just got right up, and I was, I think he's Superman.
I gotta get to Great Wolf Lodge.
But I didn't know. So like again, I haven't hurt myself in a while. So I went like the whole morning. I was like seeing my like clients and stuff like that, and like I must have like done this, like scratched my head. But I don't know if no one saw except you guys. I sent you a picture. But like my elbow, it was huge. Like it was like comically big. Like
you had a bicep on your elbow.
Like I was like, wait, this happens? Like this was ridiculous. It was bursitis, if you're familiar, but it was just like a big fluid area on my elbow. But I was like, what is going on? And then I have one client who's like a hypochondriac, and like he wouldn't let it go. He's like, you have to go to the hospital right now. And I was like, no, I call you a hypochondriac every week. I know who you are. So I didn't go, but that was that. Anyway, that was my story. Fell off my bike. I might be biking less into the city. It's just because it was cold and I was holding on with one hand and trying to keep one hand warm. I'm silly. That was that.
Morning, Dead Pone. Sounds video game related. I like that.
I know who this is. Wait,
Good
yeah,
font.
right? It's our Bostonian friend, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Bob. I think it's Dad Bob. Is it not? That's what I'm thinking. I could be completely wrong though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You let me know. Oh, so when was the last like large sleepover with like kids that you had?
Yeah, let's get to it. Good dive in, Ryan. Are you talking about like us as adults last time I remember, or like the kids that we had as parents?
Yeah, it's Dad Bob, artist dad.
Oh, I love dad artists.
No, the last time that your kids had a sleepover, it may be the one that you were like part of, or like that you had to like run, or you had a parent within.
A large one, probably Kira's 10th birthday. That was the last special sleepover. Sleepovers now are, I think we talked about this last week. Sleepovers now seem to be just the extension of a day hanging out together. It's no longer like the main event. It's not like, ooh, we're sleeping over somebody's house. It's more like, hey, we hung out. Whose house are we sleeping at?
Yeah.
It's more like that. Brian, yours sounded hilarious. This sleepover that you did, with the various personalities. We never had a contentious sleepover. I remember my 6th grade sleepover party was an absolute shit show, because I remember my dad coming down the morning after and be like, I didn't like that at all, because it was like, I think I had 8 6th grade boys over, and it was just a mishmash of terrible decisions, bad snack food, and questionable movie content. So I reflect on that specific sleepover as Kira gets into like the 7th and 8th grade. But how might we connect that last sleepover to today's subject of when that last time happens?
Oh, Jason, can you text Brian Lang? Profit. Can you text Profit?
Sure.
Your address, please.
Right now, please.
I'm doing it
Dom,
right now.
what's the topic today?
Oh, Ryan, did you not read? Do you have the book?
I read last year.
The title is For the 1,000th time. So it's basically about your kids asking you to do something over and over and over and over again. And realizing that and having an appreciation for being able to do it. The fact that you get another time, again, we're on the month of death. So this time
Yeah.
could be your last time. And instead of giving into the urge of saying no, just saying yes. I mean, it's harder, the easier to say than it is to do when it's the 1,000th time. I'm sure like you had some of those experiences this weekend when you're there with the girls and the girls are like, we want to play this song again. Like my kids very notoriously like to play songs on repeat. Me and Brooklyn had this joke where she plays, like she's playing 2 songs right now in my car. And every time she puts on the song, she goes, Dad, do you know this song? Have you heard this song before? And I'm like, no, what is this? And it's like literally just played it like 3 minutes ago. But yeah, it's kind of like that.
Same.
I hear that.
I had I gave my 6-year-old a bath last night. We haven't had a bath in a long time, much less with my 2 older daughters. And I've thought this before about plenty of things, especially last December. I remember this particular week. I remember just feeling like super vulnerable the rest of this month last year because of this chapter. But I was, I gave her a bath, I filled it, I sat there with her, and I was just kind of sitting there, remembering the feeling of like all the times that I've given baths before at night where I was like dead tired, ready to go to bed, and I had to sit there and bathe my kids. And just rushing through it. It's like, I got to get through this so I can move on to the things I have to do. So like there's very few bath times that I actually remember, but like our morning drives or breakfasts or whatever you guys do, you've done it thousands of times. And there's probably been a last time for some of those things. And this time with my 3rd kid, I was like, hey, Hazel, do you think you'll ever take a bath again? And of course she said yes, but it's like, she's been taking showers for the past 6 months. So like, this might be a last bath, because it's like, she's now, it's like, if you're ever wondering like how big your kid has gotten, when they lay down in the bath and all of a sudden their body stretches across the whole bathtub and like their head doesn't
Yep.
fit in. It's like, wow, you're big all of a sudden. Like you got long and I'm feeling old. And it's like I'm feeling a little bit emotional here, even though it's just a bath. Now let's get that conditioner out of your hair. But I feel like I remember last year I was just like super aware of those last times. Like Don, you said the last time you listened to a song, that's like on their playlist. I'm making less and less breakfasts because the kids are making their own. We're making less and less lunches because the girls are making their own lunches or getting lunch at school. I feel like I'm on the precipice of a lot of lasts coming up here, especially with the 12-year-old.
I remember that feeling when I was folding clothes and there was a day I remember, I think I mentioned it on stream here one time. I had to fold one of my daughter's shirts, like an adult shirt. You know how you like kids' clothes, you kind of fold in one way, and then adult shirts, you kind of like do I don't know, I hold by the shoulders and like fold in the arms and then like do the the retail Gap shirt fold.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do that. And I was like, oh, wow. That was, made me realize that she was getting older. One thing I really appreciate.
You have to start folding the sleeves now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then one thing I'm very aware of, because my 4.5-year-old, she's very fiery, and she is, I would say, her personality and just like her thinking and her mannerisms and everything is like, I would say, at least 4 years ahead of like where like Sloan was when she was younger. And so whenever I see it, it's a reminder of like, oh, wow, this is going quick. And it kind of pulls me back a little bit. So there's like a little bit, I kind of feel grateful that happens sometimes. But Dom's already there. Dom's been through it.
Yeah, it's like every time we have a talk like this where it's like we kind of get into this morning time set. Morning as in like not morning time, the passing of these moments. I always remember like, oh yeah, Dom's done this. It's like Dom's on his second time around, or coming up on his second time around here. So I have to remind myself of that.
Well, David was always our resident older dad.
Yeah. Is David here? I feel like I haven't seen David's name in a long time.
He was going on a trip. So I haven't tapped into him. He's on my list, man, but it's hard. It's hard to rationalize it. Like I think I even wrote in a journal entry this morning, like I have all these ideas about having these deep conversations with my kids, my teenager who's, off to be an adult, but I think I kind of like had a little moment of clarity today, and it was more along the lines of like instead of regretting what I didn't do or the dad I was for her versus the dad I am now for my kids, like celebrating the fact that like even with the lesser version of me, she still has a great amount of character, like a great amount of, she's still a good person, like has good friends, has good like work ethic, all those kind of things. And instead of like dwelling on the fact that like I wasn't a better father for her, I didn't spend enough time with her, or like, we've lost all this time or whatever, like just celebrating like the wins, like, and just focusing more on those present moments as opposed to like trying to like cram all these like ideas and teachings into this like last year of life with her and making it, like uncomfortably like, oh, you got to learn all this stuff before you go out. Like, that's part of life, is like just letting her go and letting her figure it all out. And I know, because I already have experienced this in my own life, is like kids learn more from just like doing and trying and failing, or from going into renting an apartment with three other of their peers, and just learning from them how they manage their life, whether it be the simple things versus like, oh, my dad taught me this, like kids can learn from their parents, of course, but I feel like they learn a little bit. That's the way I learned more from experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Where'd my thought go? My thought went to Mars. With all these like these last moment things, like it's all like it all sounds very sad when you read it, and it all comes at once. But the thing that I always get reminded of is like it's all a slow boil. It's like it's not like you'll never realize it until like a month after this last time happens.
Yeah.
It's not like you'll all of a sudden get sad that like, oh, that like this is the last time you were going to do this. It's never that. It's like, wow, we haven't it's like I haven't made French toast in like 2 months because my kids don't wake up anymore on time. You know, it's like the really weird small things. It's nothing that I've ever really expected, like bath times or tuck-ins. It's like, when was the last time I tucked in my 12-year-old? That was longer than like a kiss goodnight, you know? Like there's no more back scratches, there's no more back rubs. Sometimes in soccer, it's like maybe like a calf massage because our turners are known for the calves and got to keep those going. But it's it's like all the weird small stuff. Like those are the things that hit the hardest. Only after you realize it. So I got to go, but always say yes, folks, because it might be your last.
I agree.
I
agree.
agree.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everybody. Stop by and said hello. Thank you, everybody watching. And we will see you back here tomorrow.
Have a great
All right,
one,
gentlemen.
Love you all.
See you guys.